And if you want to just kind of put it right on his nose, you can dive in.
Can I really?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Natalie.
There's always ways to go back and adjust.
She's like, I can always fix this when you leave. Okay, so you're telling me I could eat this?
It is a cake. It is a flamingo cake.
It is a work of art.
Thank you.
That is so incredible. I mean, you couldn't even eat it because it's so beautiful.
There's cake in the body, and then we have kind of Rice Krispie treats and gelatin eyeballs, and it's all edible.
Say no more. It's all of my favorite things. That is so beautiful. You guys are truly artists. Somehow all stories relate back to Willie Nelson, including this one.
Yeah, so I made a cake in the shape of Willie Nelson's bust for a cake competition. My brother put it on Reddit. Crazy enough, it was #1 on the front page.
Yeah, we have a bunch of family in Scotland.
Yeah.
And so with the time difference, her brother posted the cake at the morning in Tokyo. So by the time we woke up, my dad was calling and saying, hey, did you guys post a cake somewhere online? It had already made its round all around the world.
Oh,
and it
my
made it to
goodness.
us like the next morning.
You guys were a viral sensation. Who would have thought? And
The cake was, at least.
Yes. What are some of the most interesting shapes and things you've done recently?
Our wedding cake was our own severed heads, and we got married here in Austin at the Alamo Draft House downtown. A staff member took a picture of it during the ceremony and posted it online, and before we even got to the reception, it had already gone viral.
You know, nothing says romance like severed heads.
Till death do us part.
Yes, exactly.
Dave really likes horror movies, and I'm a trooper, so.
I can tell, yeah. Is this what I think it is?
That is a poo emoji.
It sure is.
And you know what's fun about this one is it's actually it's a smash cake. So a 1-year-old little girl is going to just dive into that, and there's going to be chocolate all over her face. It is chocolate.
I didn't even know they had a name for that. A smash cake?
Yeah, it's a smash cake.
Where do you begin with the process?
You know what, all of my cakes start with a blueprint, and I almost always make them to size. So this is to size. You know, I gotta figure out, do the math, what would I start with? So there's a 6-inch layer, a 4.5-inch layer, a 3-inch layer, and a 1.5-inch. And then it helps me kind of visualize it and sculpt it. And
Who would have thought, you know, could be so thorough and detailed. That is gonna be a fun birthday party.
with this cake, the customer has 2 dachshunds, and it's for a little girl's birthday. So these are 2 hand-sculpted chocolate cake toppers that are going to be placed on top of a cake dog bed.
Oh, a dog bed, my heart is melting. What's so impressive is the detail on the face and the expression. And I was just watching a video, and even, you know, the dog's teeth and like where the drool would be coming down, all that stuff, it's all there.
Yeah, we use a piping gel, which is just like an edible, it's kind of what that you see on a lot of times on the outside of fruit to kind of preserve it's really shiny. So we use that on, add some drool and a wet nose and eyes. There's a few little details I'm gonna add, but you can kind of get started painting some of them.
Oh, can we?
If you wanna start.
I do. Whatever it is, I want to do it.
Not without an apron.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. Let's get you an apron.
You guys have a Sideserf apron for me?
It is gonna get messy.
Oh, with all the cooking I do at home, I really need this apron. This is some sweet swag.
So this dog actually has black ears and a black nose. If you just want to kind of dive in, it's almost like watercolor.
Except some of us didn't go to art school. So I don't know where this
is like old school, right? You add a little bit of the
dip in the water.
A little bit of the black, and if you want to just kind of put it right on his nose, you can dive in.
Can I really?
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Natalie.
There's always ways to go back and adjust.
She's like, I can always fix this when you leave. Have you ever been given a request that you didn't know how you were going to start it? Like it's so complicated you don't know what to do?
Almost every one, I think, starts that way. I mean, people have all kinds of things that they come up with their imagination.
We made a 5-foot-long pig cake for a food show, and there's a photo of me cutting into it, and it's pretty crazy. It was huge. We've also done really adorable dogs, a lot of bust cakes, characters, really anything.
We do a birthday cake for Ray Benson every year. Crazy looking, awesome cake. It's one of our favorites. He had a big cowboy hat on and all this kind of stuff. It takes a lot of planning. We have a unicorn farting a rainbow.
The creativity never ends around
But that's
here.
what's great about Austin is that we get those kind of orders and we love it.
How am I looking over here, Natalie?
That looks good. Yeah, definitely.
It's just kind of therapeutic. Is there a therapeutic aspect for y'all?
When I get started sculpting, that's when I just get in the zone. Dave he'll be like, are we ever gonna eat today? And I'm like, no. I just get like really, really into it. It's just.
Well, I love that question actually. Do we get to eat any cake today?
We do.
We do.
Shall we?
We should.
And this is a smash cake, so you can just go right in there.
I was born to do that job. Now for arguably my favorite part. Dave, would you do the honors cutting this gorgeous cake?
So this is the part that I'm never appreciated for.
He also is the baker. I do a lot less baking than Dave, but this is our favorite flavor. You can't go wrong with chocolate, really.
Oh, we get to eat your favorite flavor today. And by the way, I see edible glitter on top of this. It's one of my favorite simple pleasures. Shall we?
So it's chocolate cake with chocolate ganache.
Sign me up and say no more. This is amazing. So Natalie, you have a background in art. When did it become edible art that you were drawn to? After you finish eating your edible creation. I know that's the hard part about the cake business, right?
Right after I graduated college with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, a friend of mine asked me to make a cake in the shape of a cow skull for a friend's birthday. So I gave it a try and I was like, super into it. I was so excited, and I look back at the photo now and I kind of laugh because I'm like, oh, that's not very good.
You're like, amateur hour. Who knew what was about to happen?
But I knew that there was potential and that I could learn and teach myself how to use cake just as I would any other art media. Wow. Actually, that's when we moved to Austin, is when I kind of had this idea. I was like, I really want to do sculpted cakes. And Dave and I were kind of like, what's our next move? So we're like, let's go to a city that would really like embrace something like so crazy as sculpted cakes.
We wanted to do our part in keeping Austin weird.
And as you guys got to be hosts of your own show, that must have been a cool experience.
It was awesome.
And you were telling Austin stories through cake and art.
Exactly.
Which is really special.
And coming up with a design that's perfect for each event is just like a super fun process. People are so curious, how does cake turn into an elaborate sculpture? So it kind of shows you that, which is really cool.
One of our clients is actually Umlauf Sculpture Garden. And Charles Umlauf actually started by sculpting lard.
Yeah. So we're like, hey, we're not so different.
Right. So we're kind of like the second generation of the
I would rather eat a cake than lard, but it's edible.
But so what was that like having Sculpture Garden as a client? Is there extra pressure there?
Because I have the art background, so I'm like, this is an opportunity to really get artistic with it. So we made a blue heron cake, and it was really pretty, and it was really appropriate for the event.
Because it was a garden party, we actually did a lavender flavored cake as a take on the theme. We like the flavoring to complement either the design or the theme of the events that we're doing.
That is a big thing. People always go, well, they look cool, but how do they taste? And it's kind of like, I'm not gonna put all this time into an elaborate cake sculpture if it doesn't taste amazing.
Yeah.
So we really put a lot of time and effort into the flavors to make sure that they're just as good as it looks.
And it seems like you get to have a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah.
So then what does the future hold for y'all?
So this year we want to focus on being more involved with the Austin community.
Nationally, we're well known, and even all over the world in some cases. But now we're like, hey, we want to work on Austin. We want to be a part of Austin and all these like really amazing restaurants.
And that is very good news for Austinites and anyone who loves cake. Dave, Natalie, thank you so much. Shall we keep eating?
Yes.
How much ganache is in my grill right now? Oh my goodness.